Hello, hello, hello. About to start the Saturday stream. Talking about a lot of cool stuff. I don't know why this topic is so popular, but welcome to Coding After 30 stream every 9 p.m. US Central Time, Friday, and Saturday mornings, 11 a.m. Central Time, 9 a.m. on Fridays. Typically I chat about coding and usually working on my project, so a lot of live coding. And then Saturdays is usually these streams around getting hired, learning to code, all this cool stuff. If anybody wants to be a guest, definitely hit me up, let me know, would love to have you. And by the way, this is Coding After 30. If you're new to this channel, welcome. But great to see you. I do streams twice a week, and I'm gonna get back to a more regular schedule releasing videos, because I know a lot of them are very helpful and people like them. But hello, and glad to see everybody here. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And let me tune down the music a bit. Quite loud. But today I just wanted to do something fun, some relaxed, chilling, like very chill kind of stream, because I want to really revisit this topic of learning at Udemy. We could talk about other resources as well, and also talk about the concept of tutorial hell and why it's so easy to get stuck in it and why it's really difficult to get out of it, and kind of tell you my strategies of what I started to do and why I feel like it's an important strategy that could be useful for you as well. And it's going to be fun. I'm just trying to adjust my lighting. Am I bright enough? Can you hear me? Everything's good. Morning, Jose. Yeah, the stream with Luke was amazing. Luke is a cool kid. I love, and anybody who's in my community or is not shy about appearing on stream and want to come on and talk about your story, 100%, because I think that's what the goal is. That's what makes good content, is listening to people who are actually, making the transition. They're in the trenches, they're putting in the hard work, they're working through it, and that's where you're going to get the real advice. You're not going to get the real advice who has, that super, I'm not saying it's true for everybody, but someone who has a fancy car already, is living the life because they've been a developer for over 5 years, 10 years, they're all set on their job. You know what, to be honest, it's like they made it, and because they made it, which is awesome, they might have different advice that might not be useful for someone who's trying to break in. You know what I mean? People that have been working for a while, the advice that I want to hear from them is how do you grow once you're already hired, how you stay hireable, how you improve your skills, what are their strategies. But for people trying to break into the industry, it's people that are doing it and people that just did it. I think that's the place to go. And let me quickly say hello. We have a lot of regulars. Sharon, what's up? Jason, good morning. How you doing? Northern Chimp, Habibo, Jose, welcome. Engine Boy, hello. And yeah, and JB Gra, what's up? And yeah, that's what we do. This is what our stream is about, is trying to keep the honesty in learning to code, because I think people romanticize this idea of how easy learning to code is, and that within 3 months, oh my gosh, all your dreams gonna come true. And it's just not true. Talking to Luke yesterday, I asked him straight up, well, what do you think is the realistic timeline for a normal average person to be able to get to a point where they're hireable? And he said 2 years, right? Not 3 months, not 6 months. Not saying you can't do it in a shorter period of time. I mean, it took me almost 4 years, right? I started seriously focusing on learning to code at 36, about right was I turned 36, and then I got my first job at 39, halfway through the year. And so it's a challenge. And so the whole point of this show and what I do on this channel is to basically be upfront and honest about my experience. I'm not selling anything. If you ever want to support me monetarily, I don't even know where to start yet. Maybe one day I'll create buy me coffee type of thing. Actually, what I'm working on, and I broke it, but I'm working on a community tool which allows developers to come together and collaborate on projects, which is still in its super infant stages, and so it's not done. And I broke it last night, go figure. But working on this application, I guess I could share it before we get into the main topic here. But And a lot of you who've been on my channel, you're like, Paul, this has been like a pipe dream of yours and you've just been really slow at building it. Yeah, you know, it happens. By the way, if you haven't smashed the like button because you have unfinished projects in your GitHub that probably will never see a second day of chance, it's perfectly fine as long as you're learning to code. But I'm just saying, we've all been there, done that. But I am working on this project, Dev Hunt. It's not complete. I'm like just working on getting the dashboard working properly, so you could have your profile, you could change your pictures, your name, your basic stuff. We have the dashboard. This, you know, John Wick doesn't have any projects yet, but you'll be able to like add a project. This is the one that I broke yesterday. Like, so if I try to add a project right now, it's gonna blow up, which is fine. That's the point of troubleshooting. And you could log out, and I got the registration to work. I got login to work, so making progress, pretty exciting. There's still a lot of work that goes into this because it's definitely gonna, like, there's definitely not enough like form validation checks or ways to handle errors yet, because at the point I'm just kind of trying to prototype this really quickly. And so I'm just trying to get the most basic functionality, like register, log in, you know, whatever. There's an error, who cares? I mean, this one has like some basic error checks, and if you put some weird email that there's no user for that, it will throw you like a general error, but I gotta make it better, you know. I think register does not doesn't have errors, but anyway, whatever I'm like going on about, this is the project that I'm working on to build a place for people in the community to get introduced to other aspiring developers and work on projects together. So really focused on pair programming and this idea of building stuff from scratch. And the reason why I want to say this to you, coming back to the topic, is today we're going to talk about different Udemy courses, how to choose a good course, talk about tutorial hell. It's a big one. Well, how people get stuck and how it will exactly cripple you 100%. Being stuck in tutorials don't get you hired. I want you, like, this is what I came to realize when I started learning to code, and I did way too many tutorials, as we will see, that I didn't finish, and I had bought too many tutorials that I shouldn't have. But I think, like, I hate myself so much that I'm like, instead of investing money in my stock portfolio, I'll just buy Udemy courses that I will never finish. And that's kind of been happening. And so, like, I feel like I spent a lot of money. If you take 600 times $9.99 or $12.99, whatever the courses are, that's probably how much money I spent between 3 different accounts I have on Udemy, which is crazy. Like, don't be that person, don't be that guy, don't be that girl. And we will talk about Udemy. So if anybody has any Udemy related courses, what I think about one instructor, what I think about the other, let's have fun in the conversation there Saturday. Then we're going to talk about tutorial hell, why it's bad, and then we're going to talk about how to get out of tutorial hell and what to do. And by the way, if you're just joining in, thank you. I appreciate you so much. This is Coding After 30, Coffee Code and Chat. So let me sip of my coffee. I stream. That was awkward. I couldn't talk while drinking coffee. Go figure. I stream every Friday, 9 p.m. Central Time, and of course 11 a.m. Saturday Central Time. And so glad to have you. Welcome, welcome. Love you all. And today we're going to be chatting about Udemy courses, tutorial hell, how to get out, what I think you should do. And again, all these opinions, you don't have to do it. I am still some random dude who started the internet before knowing anything, and I probably still don't know anything, but I did get hired and work in the field. My journey was crazy, and that's why I keep talking about how this is hard and set the correct expectations. Like, it's going to take you some time to get there. You will get there. It's totally worth it. But if you haven't checked out my channel, it's Coding After 30. You could subscribe if you want to, but you don't have to. And if you like the topic, if you like the people you hang out with in the chat today, say hello. Go ahead and smash that like button. Not for me, for you. Do it for yourself. Do it for a Saturday morning. And yes, Jose, I think I'm going to show you some of the courses that I took a look at in terms of working on SQL. So what I'm going to do, like, I'm going to bring up my 2 Udemy accounts. Well, I have 3. The third one doesn't have that many courses, so it's no big deal. Coding After 30. Let me go the other one. Log in. Paul Barslavsky. What the hell? What the heck? What the heck's going on? Log out. Log in. Log in, different account. Paul Barslavsky. A Gmail. All right. So here we go. Let's chats a bit. I think like you could always go deep with it. I think the basics to SQL doesn't have a big learning curve, but if you're like getting into it at the level where you're going to be like a DB manager, like, or something like that, yeah, that gets pretty crazy. Show us the courses you actually finished. You'll be surprised that it's not that many, and this is why I'm freaking telling you all, don't go crazy in buying bajillion courses, because number one, you're paying money for things you're not going to finish. It's just like a pipe dream. And so, like, I'm like literally going to be really honest about it. This is a really good question, Parham. I really like it. And because to me, it really hits at the root of the cause, is that people buy courses because they feel somehow they have some sort of magical power, and because of constant sales that's going on. And then at the end of the day, it's like, you're like, oh, slap. Like, I really spent all this much money, but I still don't work as a developer. So let's go to... I'm going to show one account first, and let me share my screen. So this one here. So this is my paulbraslavsky@gmail.com account. So I have like bunch of courses, and so I have the courses that you see here available, 40 courses. It doesn't mean that I only have 40 courses. Like, this is courses that I didn't archive yet. And we could take a look at all the courses, I could chat about them. But if you go to archived, like, check this out, 135 archived plus the 40 that I have, that's 175 courses. So maybe not 300 in this account, but it's 175 courses in this account. And if you look, most of these courses are not completed, right? And we could take a look. Okay, I like this course by Brad Schiff. I don't know if it's like, it's not using any, like, it's a very good introductory course to development. Would I recommend it now? I don't know. And I'll tell you why, because it combines like a lot of different things together. I mean, you could take a look here, but I really enjoyed this course. Oh man, if you bought it, it's not going to show you the overview page. That's annoying. But it covers like a general workflow. But anyway, let's kind of go here. I completed the Complete React Developer course with Andrew Mead a long time ago, which was really, really good. But again, what I recommended now, like, I don't know how updated it is. Like, so you got to be careful when you're looking for courses on Udemy. Number one, stick to like the main instructors, but also more importantly, really check what you're learning in the context. I might have to like open another window, so when we show courses, it doesn't take me to like the course page like this, but takes me to the actual. Let me do this. Let me open a new window, file, new window. No, that's not what I want. File, new incognito window. So we could go to Udemy courses that I could share. So let me go my learning. Actually, which account is this? Yeah, it's still the same one. So we could take a look. Like, I took 40% of Brad Travesty's course. I didn't do it all the way. You know, like, Brad is a good instructor. Like, Jonah Schmidt had a good JavaScript course. I didn't complete it. Some of these courses, by the way, just to be honest, I tried to take again, so I will reset them. So some of them will show you that I didn't do it. This course I completed fully, and then I reset it to go through it again because there was updates for 2022. But John Smilga is one of my favorite instructors, because he has so many projects that you build throughout the course. Let's use this one to search John Smilga. If you have any questions about anything, and we'll take a look at some of this. Oh man, I see how you make money on this thing. Benjamin Wolf, thank you so much for the huge donation. Way too much, but I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Very cool. Super sticker. Man, I'm living the YouTube life. 100, fantastic. Nice. Thank you. Really appreciate you. I hope you have a wonderful Saturday today. Yeah, so if you take a look at the thing that I like about John Smilga course is, first of all, 57 hours. That's not fluff. John Smilga, that's one of the things I like. It's not fluff, and he's very precise of how he set up his courses. and builds them very progressively, you know, in terms of like everything in steps. So whatever you learn in the first step, let me see here, right? It's very like, I like things that have precise steps, and the step below will like, and the next step uses everything you learned prior to that. So it's very like progressive, nice for learning. You know, the things that he covers, he talks about React hooks, advanced topic, really cool. And what's cool is like, he covers all the stuff that you need to build stuff, right? But then he'll start, hey, let's build a basic project. So let's really put the practice in. And that's why I love all the John Smilga courses. I'm not saying that he's the only instructor that courses you should buy. Like, the way I look at it, if you find an instructor that you really jive with, it's a really, really good thing for you, then buy that course. He talks about React Router 6, which is awesome. Something that now people use. Talks about Axios and how to use it, like a little bonus. Then you build a cocktail API project, which is a little bit harder than the previous you built. Then there's additional API project, because it's super important to know how to work with an API and React framework to be able to cover all the basic application. Search GitHub users, another project, and we're not even like, look, 16 more sections. So here's the thing, you could buy like one course and get covered. He covers Redux Toolkit. Not a lot of courses cover this, but if you're gonna use Redux, which should you use Redux? That's a question we could debate, we could have. But if you are going to use Redux, use Redux Toolkit. And so he covers it. But coming back to like a bunch of courses that I have 40 that I was looking at. Then I have another 140 archived. The Modern React Bootcamp is pretty good. I didn't finish. And so basically there's a lot of great courses, but what I was going to say is stick with the courses that you like and the instructors you like. And the biggest thing is you don't ever have to buy too many courses. Like, I'll give you a great example here. Let's see. I'll do it. I'll do it in here so we could search. So this is a React course, right, that we just saw by John Smilga. He talks about JSX rules, you know, JSX and CSS, JSX and JavaScript. What are props? What are props? Props children, simple list. How do you do a proper list? You know, events, like key props, like basic topics, right? What are hooks? Use state hook, use effect hook. You know, having multiple returns, like form basics, like all this stuff that he covers here. Use reducer, like, well, how's that work? Custom hooks, prop types. That's amazing, right? Now go to Udemy, and I'm just gonna tell you why you need to stop buying too many courses. I know it's hard. I know it's really hard to buy too many courses, because I'll show you another count of how many courses I have. But let's do another React course, right? So we looked at John Smilga, right? Let's take a look at I want to just standalone React course. 39 hours. When was this updated? I'm kind of curious. Yeah, make sure that, like, so this was updated in 2020. Like, unfortunately, this course I can't recommend because it's going to be obsolete, right? So it's 2020. So that's one thing I'd say. Find an instructor that does update their courses. So I'm going to not worry about that course. Let's see what else, what other React course. The Modern React Bootcamp. I bet he updated. Cold Steel is really good on updating his courses. Oh, it updated in 2021, or did he release a new one? Whatever, but make sure the courses are updated. But if you take a look here, look, basic stuff that John Smigla's course covered. How to set up your server, how to get started. Introducing to JSX. What is basic JSX? Conditional JSX, props and more. Blah, blah, blah. Introducing Create React App. Right? It's like very similar outline that John had in his course. So what I'm telling you is that you don't need 10 or 5 or whatever courses, because they're all going to teach you the same thing. It's like I'm in college or high school or middle school, let's say, and I took math level 1. What am I going to take next semester? Math level 1 again? No, I'm going to take math level 2. So unless like there's a React advanced tutorial, which are too few and far in between. So basically tutorials will introduce you to how to get started, but the learning process to take it to the next level, it's not done through tutorial and through the tutorial help. It is done by building projects yourself. So let's unpack that a little bit. Let's have a chat here. Let me also catch up on the comments here. Blah, blah, blah. And then we'll definitely take a look at you know, some of the questions, which SQL course I would recommend. Yeah, John and Jonas are both heroes. I like Colt Steele. I like Steven Grinder. Really good courses. And yeah, Jason's agreeing with me because it is true. John really makes really good courses. I don't just say it because I like John. Because those are the courses I enjoyed the most. Sharing about 25% way through John Smilga's JS course. Fantastic. That is awesome. I like John's way of teaching, sense of humor. Yeah, very dry, very dry. I love it too. It sneaks up on you because you don't expect it. I have 100 courses and I'm still in tutorial hell, bro. Yeah, 100%. And this is exactly what I want to mention and talk about in just a minute to make sure that we kind of get this idea. And Cole doesn't seem to give a fuck about updating his courses. I have his JS course and my SQL ones. And I think he does at some point. He will update it. But yeah, the thing that I want to say, Parham, exactly the point. If you're following someone who is not updating their courses, it's like find someone who is updating their courses. That's just the facts. That's what I'm going to tell. I love how Cole teaches, but I really want an instructor that keeps things up to date and does make the changes, because things do evolve, things do change. Like if you took a course in 2020, they're probably still covering like stuff that you're probably not using anymore or not the way to go. And Sela asks, how about Angela? So I like Angela as an instructor. The thing that I'm not like a big fan of her courses, she does like, at least for the web development stuff, bootcamp, she covers a lot of stuff in one bootcamp. And so it ends up being very broad overview and doesn't take you into like a very deep place. So what I would suggest, there's plenty of like, and here's like another reason why I like John Smilga courses. There's a lot of courses which, and we could take a look at, right? If I do go back to searching for courses, let's do, yeah, we'll still do like React. We'll use React as a topic for now, and I'll share my screen in a second. But there's like a lot of courses where it's like, so I like this one, Complete React Developer in 2022, because it's only focused on React. I like this, but then when you see the Complete Web Development Bootcamp, this is like, it's an amazing, she's an amazing instructor, and she covers so much. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Angela, but she will go through HTML, she'll go through like small section, intermediate HTML, CSS, and so what she does is she'll give you a wider overview of the wider picture covering JavaScript. She even touches on jQuery, like why, I don't know. But she'll give you a big overview. You get some challenges. You talk about Node. You talk about what is Express. And so she cut MongoDB, SQLDB. That's fantastic that she mentions both. If you're trying to get a job, and I know a lot of people use MongoDB in their tutorials, so sometimes it's kind of hard to stay away from it. But if you do a tutorial with MongoDB, this is my challenge for you. Take that same tutorial and convert it to use Postgres. You will learn a lot, and you'll thank me later once you realize the first job you're going to get, they're not going to use Mongo and Mongoose. They're going to use an SQL type of database. So you want to make sure you prepare. But she covers React. And again, it's very like intro level introduction. And so the gripe that I have, I love Angela Yu, but the gripe I have with her courses is that it's a broad overview. What I would recommend, and this is my opinion, you don't have to take it. What I would recommend is, instead of buying like a bootcamp course like this, is that you buy individual courses. Like you go, let's search, you go search HTML. And this is, if I were to do it, this is what I would do. I would do search HTML and CSS. If I could spell, whatever, I can't. And then instead of the Complete Web Development Bootcamp, buy a specific course just on HTML and CSS. Like check, you know, there's plenty of them, right? And then you do like, and John Smilga has one that's almost 40 hours just on HTML and CSS. Same thing with Jonah, it's 37 hours, where the Complete Bootcamp is 65 hours total, which is like, so when she talks about HTML and CSS, how much can she possibly cover compared to like these specific courses specifically on that topic, right? And that's what I would do. So if you're choosing to get a course, buy courses based on what you want. And I have this, let me see if I could log in here. Like I could kind of show you, sign in with Google. I don't want to sign up. What the hell is it doing? Sign in. Coding after 30. I don't remember like how to sign in, but I want to share like something that I've been kind of working on, because it'll kind of help us to understand how I approach, if I only know my passwords, how I approach learning now. And this is something what? Coding after 30. I gotta have an account. Is it with Google that I have to sign in? That's annoying. But anyway, I will talk about how I approach learning now and something you should do. And I'll actually use my roadmap as an example to kind of show you how I would go about structuring my studying. And then I will definitely talk about how to get out of, tutorial hell and the strategies that I use. And we'll have a discussion and definitely ask questions. Yes, my email was spelled wrong. Thank you. The biggest thing that people will learn about me is that I can't spell or type to save my life. So please don't. Oh God, I gotta get my, I have my phone right here. Jeez, that's ridiculous. I almost had to be like, I don't want to get up just to log in. Like, don't you hate that? You like trying to log in somewhere and then it's like, no, you can't log in because your phone is in the other room and you're too lazy to walk there to get it. But here's the thing, I'll share it because I think it's publicly available. No, this is something different. Where's the one that I want? Jesus, like, you know what? You would be like, think Paul should be organized like before streams. Yes, he should. Thank you, Paul, for telling me this. But this is the one I'll use as a talking point at the moment. And I'll share the link here. But before we'll get there, let me share Jose had a question, what SQL courses I would recommend. So let me take a look here. This is the old account. I don't think I have SQL courses in this one, but I'll take a look. I think I do. So the ones that I really like. And again, if some of these courses don't look fully completed, some of them I just didn't do. But some of them I restart. So I like the cold steel one, to be honest, right? This is one. And the cool thing about SQL, like, so updated courses is really important. But one thing with SQL, it doesn't change much. And so I really enjoyed this particular course by Cold Steel. And then let's take a look at my other account. Let's see, because I have two accounts. I wasn't kidding. I overspent on too many courses. I wasted so much money on courses that I'm not going to take. Let me log in, different account. Coding after 30 sounds good. And let me show you like some of the things that I got here. My learning. Remind me later. SQL. And so I really like this course, SQL and PostgreSQL for Beginners by John Evis. I started it. I didn't complete it fully, but this is a really, really good course. And then Stephen Grinder, another great course. If I were to recommend one though, I would start with this one or start with Colt or Stephen Grinder. All three of those SQL courses are really, really good. But let's kind of come back to this idea. So you're using Udemy, you're learning to code, and you're definitely stuck in the tutorial hell. Now, let's talk about how to create your own roadmap. We could use Udemy as courses. We could talk about what some courses are. Nice. Jason says Colt just made some big updates on his courses, and he's usually good updating his courses. That's why I was surprised the one that I looked at was 2021, because he is really good at making sure sticking together. So first thing, let's kind of talk about if you're stuck in a tutorial hell and you feel like you can't build anything from scratch and you have more than 20-30 courses on Udemy. The fix, it's really hard, but this is exactly what you have to do. If you want to get out of tutorial hell, you need to do this one thing. Stop doing all your tutorials, just hierarchy, just stop. You did too many. You did too much. That you're basically being crutched to the idea of following someone's examples without being able to build something yourself, because tutorials don't teach you how to think for yourself. Tutorials teach you how to copy things, right? And so if you are in tutorial hell, the way you get out of tutorial hell is you stop doing goddamn tutorials. Let me repeat it, just stop doing them. This is the biggest mistake I made. I didn't do this until finally I was like, man, I'm not getting better as a developer. Like, I can't build anything from scratch right now, let alone pass an interview, because I can't build anything from scratch. So this is what I did. I literally just said, I'm not doing any more tutorials, and I'm going to only limit myself to, if I get stuck, to using Google, using Stack Overflow, and reading the documentation and reading blogs. I'm not doing any tutorials. And then you start building stuff from scratch. And let me tell you, that's going to be a painful experience. And guess what? Yes, it will be painful. Why? Because you've never practiced building anything from scratch. You don't even know where to start. So you start by opening VS Code and starting a new project, planning on paper what do you want. Don't start big, start small and be like, I'm going to build a simple HTML and CSS, CSS website, and I'm going to build it myself. And every time you get stuck, don't go to a goddamn tutorial. Don't do it. Go to Google and search like a developer at work. Whenever they encounter a problem, they will search Google, they will go to the docs, they will read articles and blog posts to find the answer to their solution. And little by little, by doing this daily, building your project from scratch by yourself, not using a tutorial, you're going to get better. And with that being said, this is why now in my roadmap, I include this beautiful step. So let me walk you through the flow here. I'm gonna back up here, but first I just want to show this example. Notice I have like learn HTML, CSS, and Sass. And so this could be like, okay, let me go to Udemy, and I'm gonna pick another course here, like learn, and you type HTML, CSS, right? Whatever, this is the course that I want. I'm gonna really explain to you how you should take courses to avoid being stuck in tutorial hell. I'm going to use this wonderful course by John Smilga, and we're going to take a look here. So you have all these projects. So let's look at my roadmap. And let's take a look here. So pick one course, one resource for the thing that you want to learn. So we did HTML, CSS. I found a course on HTML and CSS. Fantastic. So how would you study to guarantee that? And by the way, there's a lot of you in the chat. If you want other people to discover this amazing stream, please smash the like button. Don't do it for me, but don't do it for me. Do it for the fact that it's Saturday somewhere in the world, and we're all having a good time in the chat. Smash the like button for the wonderful, beautiful people in the chat. Let's get this shown to more people. If you like, if you don't like it, that's fine. It's great. But here's the thing. Okay, let's talk about the new way of taking courses to make sure to guarantee to yourself that if you follow this, what I'm about to tell you, if you follow this, you're not going to be stuck in tutorial hell. I will guarantee that to you. So this is the idea. Once you pick your resource, your course, HTML and CSS, like we're picking here on Udemy, these are the steps you follow. First thing you do, you only commit to one resource. Okay, I'm committing to this course. This is the course I'm going to get. Fantastic. Then, once you get that resource, what you do is you go through it and you complete it fully. What does that mean? What does complete fully mean? Let's talk about it. It means that you go through every section of the course. You watch every video. You follow along. You complete the projects that instructor has built for you to practice, to solidify the skills that you're learning. You go through that process. You'll go through all the sections. You learn everything. Once you get to the end, the bonus section or additional projects, ideas. Yes, it's going to take you a long time to complete. Yes, don't be a quitter, be a completer, right? Complete the course fully. What does this do? By completing the course fully, you will have some projects that you built with the instructor, which is great because then you could stick those into your portfolio. Even though I don't recommend people that already know how to do stuff use Udemy portfolio projects, but if you're just starting out, put in your portfolio, and at least now you could literally in parallel start applying If you get a job or not, that's a different conversation. But put the portfolio projects from the course that you built into your portfolio, right? But that's not the end of the road, right? Share it on GitHub, put it in your portfolio, share with people, right? So now we completed the course. And here's the most important part. Most important part. Before you go and if you go to purchase another course, no, don't do it. The thing that you have to do is before you purchase another course, after you completed the course, you followed all the steps, the next thing that you must do is, let's see, what is my roadmap says that I share freely that you don't have to pay me any money to get it. It was in one of the links up in the chat. What do you have to do? What is the roadmap says to do? Let's take a look. Let's take a look. It says build your own project based on the knowledge you gained from that course. Build that project from goddamn scratch by yourself based on the knowledge you learned, and don't use the course for reference. Like I said, I'm getting all like triggered. That's a common word in today's world, triggered. Don't use the course as a resource. You already learned the stuff here. You completed it fully. You completed all the projects. What you need to do is build from scratch, and you use Google. Like, you get stuck, you go to Google, not Gmail. Oh, private information. Everybody knows my Gmail. That's no big deal. You go to google.com, if I know how to spell. And then in Google, you type, like, you forgot how to select elements with CSS. How do I target things with CSS, whatever, like, and then you'll look and you're like, oh, cascading style sheets, what does it do? And you read the things, you read the articles. You don't use the course as a resource. You use your own ability to search things because it's going to become important. And so what you do after you complete the course, you better build your own project, right? You better build your own project based on what you learned. And I have a great example here. I went on Netlify. I'll show it to you, right? All this stuff that I'm telling you, I'm not like saying like because I'm like, hey, this will be a great topic. I'm telling you because I don't want you to. Oh my God, this is gonna make me do this again. Oh, why? Oh, okay, I have my phone again here. But I'm going to show you by example here what I did, just so you know that, listen, this is the way to go. This is the path. Do you have to listen to me? No, nobody needs to listen to me, but I wasted time. I don't want you to waste your time. And so this is why I'm sharing with you the new approach that I've been using to kind of get stuff done. And so once we log in here, fantastic. So here's a project I built, and I built so long ago that I didn't use optimized images, so it loads like super slow. But here's a project I built following Brad Travesty's course. It's pretty cool. You have like an about section, and I did give it my own flavor, right? But I used his course to build this project, right? And so the example would be, I used Brad Travesty's course, I completed it fully, I built that project, I deployed it to GitHub, and sure enough, I used this in my portfolio initially. But the next thing that I did, I built my own version of a project, not using this as reference, but struggling in using Google to look things up. And so here is the project that I built. I'll show you here in one moment when I find it. By myself. And you know what? Where do you think I learned more? Like, vote in the comments. Do you think I learned more from Brad Travesty's course, or do you think I learned more from building this project by myself? What do you think, chat? And so this is a project that I built myself from scratch, my own HTML, my own CSS, even some of my own JavaScript to check the form to make sure that you're able to submit it. You have to provide all the information, right? And at an interview, I have had easier time talking in the project that I built right here, rather than doing and talking about a project I built in a tutorial. And this is why I tell you, the secret to never ever be in tutorial hell is, one, pick one resource, finish it completely. So you picked your course on Udemy, right? Complete all the steps, Once you complete all the steps, push it to GitHub, put all the projects that you built with the instructor on your portfolio so you have something, and then you share it so you could try to, in parallel, get jobs. You might not get hired because you're still fairly new at this, but at least you're starting the process. You have a portfolio, you have those projects from Udemy. But then before moving on to another, do not move to another course. It will shake you if you do that. Is here. Build your own project from scratch, right? And once you build it, put it in your portfolio, replace all the projects from Udemy, so your portfolio will start to have your own projects, and only then you move on to the next step. You do the same thing, complete a course completely built. And looking at this, check this out. I have a lot of topics that I recommend if you want to become a React developer. I recommend learning HTML, CSS. I recommend learning JavaScript, React, how to consume an API. You could find this like in React or JavaScript course, but I put it as a separate topic. There's API courses you could learn how to build a, and then learn database, right? That SQL course that I recommended. And then you could, like, you don't, like, if you're going for front end, you don't have to learn Node.js. I would say maybe here TypeScript would be an option. And if you take a look at it, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 courses, that around 5 to 6 courses. This is all you will need to do to get skills, to have hireable skills. And if you follow this plan, you will have 6 projects that you build yourself from scratch. So you will have the knowledge, you would have the experience, and you will be ready to go. And I will go back and pause now here to take a look at the questions in chat, because I really love chatting with you. But smash the like button if you feel like this is helpful to anyone. I think for me, if I knew this earlier on, I wouldn't waste 2.5 years where I didn't have to. And so let's see here. Exactly. Jose is absolutely right. Before you purchase another course, you will feel the Will Smith slap. Lol, 100%. And I'm literally going to start a business, a company called Slapogram, where if someone is stuck in a tutorial hell and they're still purchasing new courses, I will have a button that I will push and someone will show up and give you like a friendly slap, right? Not a Will Smith slap. Hypothetically speaking, I'm not saying this is what I'm going to do. Please, YouTube, don't demonetize me. I'm not even making money on this YouTube channel anyway, because it's a time sink, but I just love hanging out with all of you. Okay, so a lot of people ask me like, Paul, why do you do YouTube? Is it for the money? No, it is not. Like, I made the most today because someone gave me a super chat, right? Ben, like, brought my income today on YouTube 100-fold because he gave me a super chat. And you don't have to do super chat unless you want to give like, hey, thanks for doing what you do. That's fine, but you don't have to do it. But thank you, Ben. It really made my day because now I could have taco for lunch. Really important. But why do I have a YouTube channel? I have before we get to the questions a little bit more, I have the YouTube channel, number one, to get better at talking about code. That's why, and building stuff from scratch. That's why I stream live coding Friday nights. Not a lot of people watch those, and I do get it. Like, nobody wants to watch another dude live code and fail, but I still do that to learn how to live stream and also to document my journey of becoming a better developer on this YouTube channel. And to be honest, I've had a bunch of interviews, and my last job I got because someone found me on YouTube. And so YouTube is just another way I use to market myself as a developer, regardless if I make money on this channel or not. But back to the comments. Mahir says, amazing. You're amazing. Hey, man, been a long follower of yours, and I'm at the point where I'm now applying to jobs. Should I shotgun method apply to everything there or what? Thank you. So great questions. I had an amazing talk with Luke yesterday who talked about different ways. But what I would say, if you're updating, you should do all of these. Number one, you should send out your resumes if that's the only option you have. But what I would say, start going to meetups, because meetups, I went to a meetup locally here. Every time at a meetup, they ask is if you're looking for a job, you could contact us and we will take a look at your resume. So meetups is a great way to do, to get opportunities. Shotgun approach is the worst way to do it, but you still should do it if you have no other option. The second option, start going to meetups, start building projects and sharing what you're doing on Twitter and tagging like React. Like, for instance, I'm building a project with Remix right now. So I'm tagging Remix. I'm hooking up with people with Remix and I'm building a community around what I'm doing. And so I'm building friends, and then I could reach out to them, be like, hey, where you work? Is your company hiring? And so what you basically want to do, a better approach than doing a shotgun approach when looking to get your foot in the door, is to use the referral method, where you have a friend that works at a company and they're willing to, or someone you met online, they could take your resume and hand it in, because that's going to guarantee you an interview. It won't guarantee you a job, it'll guarantee you an interview. Because if you do the shotgun approach, the shotgun statistic based on like the people that I talk to, you need to send out 300 to 400 resumes. You're probably going to get 5 interviews and maybe 2 offers, which is still great because you're still going to get hired, but it's a lot of work. If you do the approach where you have a referral, and this is what I did, it's way easier, and that's for all my jobs. That's how I did it. I've never got a job where I sent a resume. I always got a job where I knew someone worked there. I know it sounds unfair, and but this is kind of networking. Networking is super huge. Like, I can't deny it. That's how I do it, and this is how I still do it. Like, there's a running joke from Engine Boy. He's like, oh, Paul might get hired by Remix because of how much involved I'm in the community, how much I talk about it. It's very apparent, not just to me, but the people from Remix, it's apparent. And then now they know who I am, and I could literally be like, hey, are you hiring at Remix? I'm not going to do that, by the way, because I love my company where I work. I work at Strappy, like best job I had. So I'm going to work there for a while. And instead of trying to find another job for more money, I'm just going to try to figure out how to build a SaaS project part-time if I want to increase my pay, because I really enjoy the company and the product that I'm working. And another option in terms of getting into the industry, start hitting up recruiters like crazy. Talk to them. A lot of them are going to ghost you, but ask them, what do I need to do? Like, one thing Luke pointed out in the last stream, you could check it out on my YouTube channel, is that some of these recruiters have firms that they work with that do assessment tests, and you literally just have to pass the assessment test, get a good score, and they're going to start taking you seriously. So those are my recommendation. You can do the shotgun resume approach, but it's the worst one. Number 2, network, build friends, build connections, and use them to literally recommend you to their jobs where they work, or to their friends that are hiring and giving you the resume, because that's going to guarantee an interview. And the third approach is start hitting up recruiters, working with recruiters. There's nothing wrong with them. The experience might be mixed, but it's okay. You just need to get one job to get started, because after your first job, your second, third, and fourth job is much easier to get. And so what I would say, do all 3. Don't even wait on one. Like, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Let's see. Another question here from XYZ Abi. What about testing? Should we learn it? I would not. If you're going for a junior role, which a lot of us will in front end, don't worry about testing. This is how I got introduced to testing. I had no idea what testing was. It wasn't even on my first job. My first job, we did 0 testing. It was on my second job where they knew I was junior, by the way, and the lead developer is like, hey, we're going to start doing testing. We're going to use Jest, and why don't you start writing some simple tests? And I didn't know how to do it, so I literally just started going through the documentation and learning on the job. And so I learned about testing and how to write tests at my job. And so what a lot of people would do, especially if you're junior, like, if you know testing, that's a great bonus. But if you don't, that's fine too, because a lot of times you will be assigned like small things, and because they know they're junior, they take that into account, and they will understand the fact that you're going to be looking up a lot of stuff and learning on the job. So that's perfectly fine. And are you referring to the link for the graphics? I'll share it again. I shared it in the chat before. I should put it on my website where people could see it better. By the way, I just want to say, and help me to test it out. So I have a codingafter30.com website. I have a secret community, which I need to get involved more. I haven't been on it. A lot of people don't know. If you do know, like, you know my story, I've been through like a lot of stuff this year. And so like, I'm trying to slowly ease myself back, but we do have a secret community that's free to join. You could go to Coding After 30, fill in your first name, email. I need a GitHub link to where you have at least one project. If you don't have a GitHub link, or like Git repo, like you should have a Git repo, even if it doesn't have a project. Everybody should have a Git repo you need to provide it in order to get invited. And if you want to add a node, you can add a node. But we have this Circle community, that I need to engage more. And I plan in the next month. That's not circle.com. That's not it. Hold on a second. Circle right here. We have this community that we have people still engage here. But I'm not here. Like I pop in. Like I just want to be honest. Like I haven't been here like weekly. Like sometimes I'm here in a week. Sometimes like 2 weeks goes by. But we have a bunch of members here already. They're hanging out, chatting. So if you want to be part of this community, like we have 40 members, you could jump in by signing up on the website here, and I'll send you the link once I get your invite. And I'm going to definitely in next month, I'm going to start engaging on here more. But if you want to have like access to me outside of YouTube, this is the way to do it, you know, and we have people engaging, sharing cool documentation. So another additional resource. And Tammy S, God bless you. I love you because you're literally doing God's work, making sure the conversation keeps going in the community, and everybody else, Engine Boys here and a bunch of other people. So thank you so much. But back to the thing that I was talking about, which is, let me finish through the comments before we move on here. Yes. And so, yep. And where's the link? Did I share it again? Yep, I shared it again. So what SQL course to take? I think I already answered that question. The ones that I really like John Avis course, SQL and PostgreSQL for beginners, become an SQL. And then like Stephen Greiner has a good one. And then I mentioned that this is also a good one, Ultimate MySQL Bootcamp with Colt. And don't buy all three like I did. Just pick one that you like. I really like this one. And so share a link. I'll share a link to this one, but you could Google all the other ones. Another like great comment here. I'm slowly working the list before we talk on some of the topics here is, yeah, good point. It's when you really want to do something you don't know how to, yet you dig your way through the faraway places you've taken years to go without much background for it. Though, yeah. So the point is with learning, the most important skill you will develop as a developer is looking stuff up on your own and not relying on tutorials. That's like one thing I do. And the way you do it is by building stuff from scratch. And I kind of mentioned how to get out of tutorial hell already. So if you're just signing up and you missed it, you could always rewind and rewatch. And I'll probably clip that portion to a separate video because it was so loaded with so much value that more people need to see it. So I'll clip that and make a standalone video. And 100% Benjamin, live coding is a great way to show that even professionals make mistakes and get stuck. You don't need to be perfect to get a job. 100%. Live coding, people just want to see not the fact that you make mistakes, but to see that the way you're thinking and approaching code. How do you solving your problems? Are you like looking stuff up to better understand, or you copying and pasting stuff not knowing what it is? And this is why I continue to do live coding. I want all of you to do some coding where you record yourself coding a project. You don't even have to make it public and put it on YouTube if you're like afraid of embarrassment. I'm always afraid of embarrassment. I just don't care about it. You know what? People make fun of me all the time, but I still put myself out there because I much rather document the growth of my skills than to be afraid all the time. But just record yourself teaching and live coding, because that's gonna be really good experience for you. And then you could rewatch it. Yeah, it's gonna be cringe probably, but you'll see where you're getting stuck, and you could kind of try to dive deep. Like, hey, I really struggled here when I was trying to build this or explain this. Let me now make this a priority to look into it to do more stuff. Yeah, 100%. So we talked about Udemy courses. Like, if you have any more questions about Udemy courses, definitely ask. We talked about how to get out of like tutorial hell. Basically, I gave you probably the best answer I could give you. So please rewind and check it out. So we talked about that. We talked about the three-prong approach when looking to get jobs. You could do a shotgun approach.
where you just randomly send your resumes. That's the worst one. The second one is get involved in the community, network, make friends, and try to find friends that work at places, work on other people's projects, go to a lot of meetups, because a lot of meetups do hire, and have someone be able to refer you to a company, because you will at least be guaranteed an interview. And the third way is work with recruiters. Work with recruiters and contract agencies. And when I say contract agencies, as Luke pointed out in our last stream, it's not Upwork, right? It's big recruiting contracting agencies that only work with huge companies, you know, like Microsoft. They work with Apple. They work like Airbnb, like other huge companies, right? And that's another way. And then recruiters everything, right? And so do all those things. Don't just wait for one. And so we talked about this, and thanks to my mom's skills, I know how to find stuff for myself. Fantastic. That is exactly important skills. So you're ahead of a lot of people. And Sala says, yes, you can record yourself tutorial and put your YouTube on list, and so you can watch all that time. Yeah, 100%. I do that like all the time. Like my live coding videos are like the least watched, and I don't care, because I'm doing it for my own personal growth and personal learning, and it's fine to put stuff out there. Let's do like some questions, chat. Come on, don't be shy. Let it rip. You could ask questions about anything. I think I covered like the topics that I want to cover. If there's any specific course you want me to talk about, let me know, or a recommendation, I'll do it. But let's, yeah, another great question. So, hey, how do you tell the difference between good recruiters from recruiters that is going to waste your time? I've heard about, yeah, there's plenty of bad stories. And so, unfortunate truth is, and this is actually a great question. Let's talk about it. I love it because it just reminded me of one thing that is happening now. So there are recruiters that are basically recruiters that work for themselves, and they have a bunch of different companies that they work with, and they're literally trying to find people to place in those companies. And those recruiters, you will tend to have very mixed experience, because a lot of times what they want to do is they want to make money as fast as possible. And the unfortunate role for some of those recruiters, and if you're wondering like why you're getting ghosted, is because not all recruiters, there's some good ones, don't get me wrong, but just to be honest about the mixed bag of stuff that's going to happen, is that this is what recruiters do. The first thing they do, they'll land here and they will look to see right here, do you already have a job in the industry? And if you don't, they'll just move on to someone else, because for a lot of recruiters, they know the fastest way for them to make money, and I'm not saying it's all of them, is to see that someone is already having a job, so they know they're hireable. The second thing that they do is they will scroll down. They will definitely look at your experience, and if you don't have experience, they will take a look here in the skills, and they want to make sure that you are endorsed for the things that you're applying for, like React, JavaScript, ASP.NET. When I used to do it a while ago, I don't do this anymore. Do they look at the recommendations? Probably not, but it's nice to have some people say nice things about you. But they're literally going to look here if they don't see that you have any valid experience here. And then they're going to look here to see if you have a job. And most recruiters, if they see you don't have a job, they'll just ghost you. So if you're wondering why you're being ghosted, it's because they know that if you have no experience and you don't have a substantial project, you're not going to get hired. So, but doesn't mean that you shouldn't use recruiters, and doesn't mean that you should completely give up, because what you should start doing is still reaching out, and some recruiters that are not going to ghost you, they might say like, hey, you're not really ready. And you could ask them follow-up questions like, what do I need to do in order to look better in the eyes of recruiters? And they might tell you, you might need a better portfolio project. Then there's a bunch of paid. This is what I learned from Luke yesterday. This was genius. And I don't know what the sites are. I'll have to ask Luke about it, but there's a bunch of self-assessment sites where you pay like $50 to take a self-assessment test in React or whatever, which will give you a general score, which you could go to recruiters like, hey, I completed this assessment. Here's my score. Here's my portfolio. This is the job that I'm looking. If you go with that approach, you will have a less chance that they're going to not take you seriously, because you kind of giving them enough information to be able to make an assessment. And the last point that I wanted to make to Sharon's question is, a lot of companies have their own recruiters. So this is what I would recommend. You could go to job sites, like if you go to Strappy, like on LinkedIn, if you go to anything on LinkedIn, I'll actually want to try it, like before, like people call me a liar. But let's say Strappy. And then what you could do is you could see all the people that work here, right? And you see their what they do, like, you know, chief technical officer, co-founder, right? And then you'll scroll down, and how do I see more people? Oh, I go next, and you just look through this, and I'll show you a great example here. And I'll scroll again. I should have just searched, but where's Lisa? But you will like just scroll through the people who work there, and there's a bunch. But Lisa, she's talent specialist. When you see like talent specialist, talent acquisition expert, recruiter, they're basically a company recruiter. And so you message Lisa and you provide the projects you build, you provide that assessment test that you took, that she could basically be like, oh, he took or she took this test, and then you provide your resume and you message her directly, right? To be like, hey, I want to get hired. Not saying that it's going to guarantee you, but it's a very good approach. But please understand, nobody wants to do extra work on their end. So if you could have a kick butt portfolio, took a bunch of assessment tests, either HackerRank or whatever, even if it costs money to pay for it, get the results, put them with your portfolio, write a good resume, an introduction email, and then you've done most of the work for Lisa, so she doesn't have to worry too much doing it on her own. So she'll take you more seriously when you apply. And so that's the thing that I wanted you all to kind of, you know, see and understand. Like, that's the process. So thank you for that excellent question, Sharon. Let me know if you think, you know, that was helpful or not. If you haven't smashed the like button, don't smash it for me, smash it for the amazing questions people are asking. And then let's go here. That was a great question. NodeJS courses with video versus courses without. I like courses with video, but once you know the basics of the topic, then I switch to literally courses based on blog post text. I don't even take courses anymore once I have general understanding. And what I'll do is I'll read the documentation. For beginner content, I always prefer video because I need to see someone literally hand me through the thing. But once I get to the level where I'm getting the basics down, then I don't watch videos anymore. I literally just look stuff up on Google. I look at the documentation a lot, and that's how I learn. So as a beginner, I focus mainly on video. Once the topic is more makes sense to me, more familiar to me, I switch to literally looking at docs, following text tutorials, and reading blog posts. So that's the approach I take. Yeah, really good question. So they don't hire people who are actually looking for jobs. Like, what do you mean by that? I think like what you have to understand, if you're looking for a job, like, so when I applied to Strappy, I didn't realize, but they had like 1,000 applicants. So you need to always think of like, hey, there's going to be a lot of applicants and they probably all have really good resumes. So what you need to do, and this is why I mentioned what I said in the previous thing, is that you need to try to upload, like, put all your value up front. And if you don't have a college degree, like, how do you show that like you have the experience? Well, you have a project, but maybe your project is not enough. It might be. So how do you show extra social proof? Well, you have a assessment test that you took and scored really high on. So what I'm saying is that no, people are hiring, but people have so many candidates that they're only going to pick the top 10% that they're going to consider for the position. So if you could give as much sale up front for those junior roles that you're qualified, more social proofs from some of those things that I mentioned, you will have easier chance of doing it. And Matt Malik Ben Mahara, great to see you here. Look what I have missed. It's okay. You could always rewind and rewatch him. And I'm going to, obviously all of these live on my YouTube channel. And by the way, thank you for joining. And if you're new here, this is Coding After 30. I'm some random dude who started trying to break into the industry. I'm still some random dude that probably doesn't know anything, but I now work. I worked as a software engineer. Now I work as a developer advocate at Strappy. Fantastic stuff. I live code every Friday, 9 p.m. US Central Time. And then I do streams like this, which are relevant about learning, getting hired, how basically generally break into an industry if you're switching careers at 11 a.m. your Central Time on Saturdays. And if you haven't subscribed, do you have to? I don't know. But if you like and you want to support the channel, you could always do that. And so, yeah, great information. No, thank you, Sharon, for being here and asking an amazing question. Yeah, thank you. Please don't smash it twice. If you're going to smash the like button, it has to be in odd numbers, like 1, 3, 5, 7. That's the approach I like. And oh, yeah. A lot. That's the sad truth. Here's the thing. Like, yeah, if a lot of recruiters, and not all of them, please don't be like, I'm trying to lump. There's good recruiters, there's bad recruiters, there's okay recruiters. But what he's saying, and this is what I kind of mentioned here in my profile, a lot of recruiters that literally this is the first place they look. They look here. And yeah, by the way, yes, another thing I would say, please optimize your LinkedIn to make it easier for recruiters to know what your skill is. That's kind of why I started implementing. I need to update this, but this is why I started implementing this thing and then implementing this like this because it's searchable. But yeah, recruiters literally come here and they look here and then they look here. Are you hired? And if you don't have a job, they will probably move on to someone else because they know the hardest person to place is someone who doesn't have a job. And like, I think Engine Boy last stream said, yeah, it's like, actually not Engine Boy, it was Mark from Developmental Life. He said, it's like if you're, have a girlfriend, it's easier to find another girlfriend. Like he used that example. It's the same thing. It's just easier because people, like when people see that you already have a job, that's all the social proof you need that you're going to be probably okay candidates. Same like if you already have a girlfriend, somebody who potentially likes to be like, oh, if he is able to have a girlfriend, then there must be some good qualities about him or her. So yeah, and that's unfair, but that's what some recruiters do. And I mentioned like some strategies you could do to kind of hedge against that, by the way. Yep. Yeah, it's like you can get a loan if you can't get a loan if you don't need one. Yeah, if you don't need one, but if you need it, like, yeah, seriously. The thing is, here's the thing that I want to say. And if you follow this channel, then you know exactly what I'm going to say. Number one, the state of YouTube, not all channels, but a lot of them, they romanticize this vision of what it would be like when you get hired as a software engineer and you're making over $150,000 and you're living the life, and they make it sound that it's achievable in 3 months or 6 months. But the reality is, it is not. Few people do somehow accomplish that, but they're way far and few in between. I'm not saying that it won't be you. What I'm saying is don't use that as your point of reference because that's a very unrealistic expectation. And what's going to happen, you're going to get discouraged when after 3 months you still didn't make any progress and you still don't have a job. Please don't believe the hype. Set realistic expectations. I believe that 2 years, and I'm not saying that it will take everybody 2 years, is a good average for normal people to be like, hey, I'm going to get good enough that I'm going to get hired. Maybe you'll get it faster. It took me almost 4 years to make it, right? And so I'm on the opposite, like, dude, it took me way too long because I made too many mistakes. And this is why I share this content on this YouTube channel, hopefully that you don't have to make those mistakes. So maybe you'll get it in a year, right? Maybe it also depends on how much time. If you're like single, don't have responsibility, you don't have kids, maybe 6 months to a year of daily studying for 8 hours a day, maybe you could do it. But what I'm saying, set realistic goals, and instead of focusing like, when am I going to get hired? When am I going to get hired? Just be focused. What can I do better to show myself that I have the skill, and what do I need to learn to make sure that I'm able to do the job when I get hired? And that's what basically going to get you hired. And so, and yeah, 100%, you will feel like a failure when the thing doesn't happen. And that's why I tell you, don't use these arbitrary things that you see on YouTube. How I got hired in 30 days. Like I hate YouTube about that. The fact that because it's exciting, people want to watch it. Everybody have fantasized about living, like imagine you work at a job you hate or you're not happy with your life. You're like depressed half the time. Like your life is a drag, and everybody's been there, and a lot of us are still there. I've been there. Recently I had so much crazy stuff happen, like dealing with depression. So it's nice to see like this fantasy on YouTube where it's like, and that makes you dream like, wow, like I'm going to make how much money? Wow, 100,000, 150,000. Like, and you get excited, but it's a dream. It's not the reality. They are selling you the dream. The reality is that it will take really hard work to get there, and nobody talks about it honestly. And not everybody is going to get there. Like, you'll never, like most people in 3 months, not going to get it. Most people in 6 months, not going to get it. Majority of people in a year are not going to get there. Like a year and a half, 2 years, that's a reasonable expectation to set for yourself. And it's very important to keep that in mind. And this is why I have this channel, to kind of bring everybody back to reality, reel you in by not telling you the BS that you hear online. And I'm not saying like, it's great to get excited, it's great to get motivated, but motivation will not take you across the finish line. It's the hard work that will. Because let me tell you, some of these marathon runners who complete the marathon, like they might be motivated the first quarter of the marathon, but then after that, they're hating every part of their every step. And they're just like, I just got to move forward. I just got to go. And that's the kind of mentality that you have to have. Like people like Paul, you always sound so motivational. Am I motivated every day of my freaking life? No, I'm not. There's times I'm depressed, and sometimes like I don't want to do anything. I don't want to do this YouTube channel sometimes. But I made it like the thing, like every month I have to do at least one thing in YouTube, one thing at work. I do more things than one thing at work, by the way, but I'm just using it as an example. That's going to move me forward regardless how I feel about it. Do I have to like it? Do I have to hate it? No. Like some days I love what I do, and some days it's just a drag, and that's just the honesty, and that's just the reality. But you still have to move forward and do the work. To be honest, like how do I work remotely in the US? I think it's like very like broad question. And I think what I would do is, it depends where you live, but I feel that the best way would be for you to find a remote job is to find one of these contracting agencies that hire out to like the big companies and try to get hired through them. Because a lot of times outside remote work, like a lot of people like in US, they'll be like, yeah, you could work remote. And a lot of times it's a hybrid approach where they're like, you're not required to come to the office, but you should live close enough that you're able to come to the office. You know what I mean? So it's very competitive, even with the pandemic. Remote work, a lot of them, they'll be like, yeah, it's remote, but you should still live in Texas. You know what I mean? So the contracting path would probably be the better way. Greetings from Finland. I'm stuck. John Smilga course and Udemy, they're the best. And John is an amazing teacher for me, but it feels like I'm just burned out of almost 3 months break. Yeah, no, Inga, you gotta get back into it. Like if you're stuck, this is like the thing, like I would say, and welcome here, like, you know, join a community where you could talk to people, join a bunch of Discord channels. It does like, I don't have a Discord channel, but I have a circle community right here. Let me share. And talk to other people about like where you're stuck, about your pain points and stuff like that. So I haven't been as active on this community, but if you want to join, it's absolutely free. You could go to codingafter30.com, fill out this info. If you don't have a GitHub link, please create a GitHub account. That's the only way I'm going to take you seriously. As you're serious about being a developer, you need to have at least GitHub, and then click submit, and then I'll create an invite link for you. But yeah, no, definitely hard, and burnout is real. And what I would suggest is join communities where you could talk to other people, make on Twitter, follow friends who are developers. And then on Twitter, listen, be like, hey, I'm stuck doing this. I'm having an issue with this, like, and just mention it. And you know, Twitter is accessible, but there's some good use cases for it. And for development, that's a great place to kind of share your journey and share where you're getting stuck, and people will jump in. Like I still do that and talk. So definitely reach out to the socials like Twitter or Discord, you know, or like a community like I shared with you, and talk to people there. Love the roadmap you created. What is a good resource for consuming APIs? So the craziest thing here, it's like there's really no good course that I found for consuming APIs. But with that being said, when you're looking for courses, what I would say, let's say, where's my other page? When looking for courses, like I'll just use JavaScript. I'll show you 2 ways that I do it. The first one, I will look through JavaScript courses, and then I will find a JavaScript course, and then I will go through the section and I will look, and I realized I'm not sharing my screen. Let me share it. So I would look through like a JavaScript course, or whatever language course that you interested in, and look through their outline and make sure that they talk about, you know, working with APIs. Like here we go. This section here, using async await, other promises. And so here they're using an API to practice fetching data with Fetch API. So make sure the course talks about it and look into it. Sometimes you could like see the preview, but make sure they have a section where they're talking about consuming APIs with your code required. The second thing I would say, even though you're going to be a front-end developer, just the fact that you took one Node course doesn't mean that you're a full stack developer, please people. But take intro to Node course. Don't worry about like how good the project is going to be, but what they're going to show you is how to structure your API, and then you're going to learn how to consume that API that you build with Node. And that's going to give you a lot of context of how you're going to be using that API on the front end. So I'm not saying take Node so you could put in your resume, I'm a full stack developer. Just because you took one Node course doesn't make you a full stack developer. That's my belief, but that's a whole different conversation. But that's one way to kind of do that. So first approach, make sure the course that you're taking has a section on working with APIs, Anthony. And then the second is at least take one Node.js course, breeze through it. Don't have to be too serious about it, just so you could see how the API is built and you will understand better how to consume it. And then Mark, what's up? And Mark, yeah, I definitely got to come to your live stream. I'm really bad on Twitter sometimes, and do something with you for sure. By the way, Mark's here from Dev Mentor Live. Amazing channel. Go subscribe to this channel. He is, what I would say about Mark, he's an awesome dude. Definitely doesn't fit the mold. For some people, they're like a big churner. For some people, they're like, hell yeah, because most people that are going the self-taught route, they're not fitting like the normal like mold of what a developer should be. And so like they feel discouraged, like, man, maybe I shouldn't be a developer. When you see Mark, you'll be like, man, if Mark can do it, sorry, Mark. Mark is, by the way, has like over 25 years experience. He definitely knows his craft. But I'm going to say, if Mark could do it, you all could do it. You know what I'm saying? And I say that with like the best respect, because Mark has a crazy story. How he ended up in US, how he got his first job, how he worked. And by the way, being illegal alien, being, you know, Mexican, like having people judge you based on your previous like record of getting in trouble, holy crap, and still breaking into the industry, like phenomenal. And so like, yeah, like Mark might say some polarizing stuff, but I love Mark because first of all, the advice he gives, it's insane. And I love, like, one thing I love about Mark is he's not like he doesn't just study like I do Next.js and React. No, he studies the old school developers who pioneered programming, and he's really into the history of programming. So by the way, Mark, like, actually, you know what, Mark, you should do a live stream where you talk about your heroes. I know you've done plenty, but people, like I don't want you to say it here. You should say it on your channel so people could go to your channel and see it. But Mark, I want you to do a stream where you talk about your heroes and the history of programming, why it's important to be aware of who those heroes are, where certain paradigms came from, and the reason, like, you should 100% do that on your channel. And people, go subscribe to his channel so you don't miss that stream where he does that, because I think it's important to understand that. And I've discovered some people, again, I'm not going to name names, but they don't have YouTube channels, by the way. They're not YouTubers. They're like, I mean, they have talks on YouTube, but they're like old school, like pioneers of programming. Some of the stuff they talk about is golden. Definitely do a stream around that. Maybe it'll be like a good stream for both of us to do together. They'll be awesome. But yeah, go subscribe to his channel right now. Don't miss that stream. But that's what I love. And he gives so much amazing advice. And what pisses me off, like I'm going to say it right now, sometimes there are people like that pass like judgments on people. Like I used to be like that a long time. Like, don't judge the book by its cover. And I feel like people miss out on value sometimes. And what pisses me off, and it happened to me like a bunch of times, is people will pass judgment on me based on my like whatever like thing, and then they just will never like talk. And I feel like that's the biggest disservice when people do that, because you will miss out, you will lose on getting valuable information. Because to me, I don't care who you are, but if you're providing valuable information that's going to help me to get better in breaking into the industry, getting hired, amen. You know what I mean? And so like what pisses me off, it's like people sometimes make strong opinions and they dismiss certain people without checking out the content fully, right? They don't fully do that. You know what I mean? And that's just so irritating to me and insane. But yeah, definitely go check out. I did one-on-ones with Mark, by the way. He does them. Really good stuff. I learned a lot when I did those with him, which is really, really awesome. So let's jump back in the comments. I know we're like closer to the tail end, but if you guys and girls keep those questions coming, I'll continue streaming. But if you missed, I put all the important stuff already, so you could always rewatch it. Nice. I love it. Mexican dev, 100%. Yeah. And let's look at it. Yeah, let's do some Q&As before ending the stream. I know we're about to hit 1 hour and a half. But yeah, like all the meaty stuff is already, we already talked about. We talked about like Udemy courses. We talked about getting stuck in tutorial hell and why it will kill your gains as a developer and probably keep you from getting a job, and how to get out of developer tutorial hell. We talked about that. We talked about how to work with recruiters, how to make yourself more, have higher chances of getting. We talked about the different ways or strategies to send out your resumes in order to get better chance of getting hired. A lot of golden tips. And what I'll do, like, I definitely rewatch the stream, but I'll also take some of the key points and make them standalone videos, because I think it'll be great, because there was so much value, especially how to get out of the tutorial hell was very huge. And yeah, and by the way, who cares? Who cares? Like, right? You don't, the thing is, it's like people have their things that they want to do and the way you present yourself. And the thing that I hate, is not that people do things. Like, there's certain things I don't support. I'm sure there's a lot of things that Mark and I don't agree on, but there's also a lot of things that I agree on with Mark 100%. But what gives me right to say that I'm morally better, right? I don't have that right. And I hate when people make these decisions, be like, well, Paul does this, so therefore he's bad. Or Mark does this, therefore he's bad. And I'm somehow third person, like, better because I am morally this because I don't do this thing. Yeah, but you probably cheated on your wife and did all this other stupid stuff that nobody knows about. So don't pass goddamn moral judgment. I know I'm kind of getting triggered a bit because I hate when people get dismissed by people that have this arrogance about themselves, that feel like they somehow have this right to pass judgment about other people when they themselves probably not a perfect human being. Because newsflash, there are no perfect human beings. And let me like switch to my rant screen, I guess, to make it better. But yeah, like going to a whole different thing. Coders tend to rise above. Yeah, 100%. Coders tend to rise above politics. Yeah, and 100%. And so do some questions. Come on. Like, we cover all the topics. So it's on, like, let's do some Q&A quickly. If you don't have any questions, how am I supposed to continue this live stream? Come on, crew. Come on. Yep. Yeah, a lot of you did ask a lot of questions, by the way. That is true. And by the way, welcome for joining Coding After 30. If you're new here and you don't know what my thing is, I'm some random dude who didn't know any development, started a YouTube channel. Now I'm some random dude who works in the industry. I worked as a software engineer. Now I work as a developer advocate and stuff like that. I do live coding streams that a lot of people don't watch, which is fine. 9 p.m. Central Time on Fridays. And I do streams around getting hired, all that stuff, how to break into the industry and do like all the, don't make these mistakes basically on Saturdays, 11 a.m. And if you haven't subscribed, you can go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Do you have to? No, you don't have to. But if you want to support the channel, you can. Or you could also support the channel, but more importantly, yourself being awesome by smashing the like button. And it's 100% rough for the newbies for sure, getting hired. This is why I do and have this channel. And yeah, nice. Yeah, he does change his channel name sometimes, you know. Dev Mental Life, I like that, you know. That's a good name. I know, like, it's hard. The hardest thing is to, for me, by the way, Margaret, maybe you have some like feedback. Like, I was thinking of having channel be my name to brand myself, but then like I wanted to change it back to Coding After 30 and brand the concept. And like, I think I'm gonna stick with that. Instead of branding the channel as myself, brand it as the concept of Coding After 30. And I think I like Dev Mental Life because of that as well. And who knows, maybe in the future, like if the channel blows up and I want to have other people to post content and be part of the branding of Coding After 30, I think that makes a little bit more sense than individual. But individual has its pros and cons too. So I'm still trying to figure out what are the things. What are the tips? Another amazing question. So let's do this. What are some tips you would give for people that want to put themselves out there? Number one, go to meetups, even the ones that happen you know, on the online. I was like in the cloud. What am I saying? Online. Get involved in Twitter. One great example to get involved here, I'll share with you. Let me open up. There's plenty of platforms. One that exists now that I really love, that I discovered from Engine Boy, is this place called React Play. And we did have the co-developer or the founder of React Play. We did a stream with him, amazing stuff. But this is a social place where you could create plays, right? You could create little projects and people do PR requests, and you know, and you build stuff together. I think getting involved in places like this, you know, being involved with the community, and I'll put the link. This is Engine Boy, by the way. This is like the founder. We had him on the stream. Engine Boy actually was on stream talking about his amazing bug tracker project he built. But all these people involved, and you could actually become a contributor here as well. But I'll share the link. But basically, get involved in so many ways. Number one, get involved by participating in these types of websites where you work with others. Join Discord to ask questions, but I wouldn't say like Discord will be like a good place to get a job. I don't know about it, to be honest. I've never used Discord to get a job. But what I really like is getting involved on Twitter. And what I've been doing, like, I'll give you an example. I started learning Remix, and so I started doing videos and little quick code updates of what I'm building with Remix, and I'm tagging Remix team, and I'm tagging out the people, and sometimes I'm asking questions on Twitter of all the, like, to showcase like some of the things that I'm working, and people, or ask questions, and people be like, hey, you could do this better. So basically I'm starting a conversation on what I'm working, and I'm tagging the companies who stack I'm using and creating a conversation. And by tagging them, you'll actually be introduced to other people, and you're able to make friends, and you start building connections that way. And over time, you're going to have this network of friends with whom you build cool stuff and talk about coding. And those friends might be in a position where they're able to refer you to a company. So that's what I would recommend. Yeah. Yep. That looks clean, and that site's super cool. Yeah. React Play, they're doing something awesome. Really love the project. And I'm going to start promoting it, you know, to a lot of people, even though, like, I'm not part of the contributors, because I do want to contribute to them. I do want to get involved more. I just don't have so much time. But the least I could do is to continue share React Play and have folks go check it out. You know, really awesome. Another way to get out there, by the way, I know it's Hacktoberfest, but hackathons happen all the time. And so getting involved in hackathons, getting involved in meetups, 100%, that's the way to go. Hey, Mark. What's up? Yeah, and so any other questions? Because right now at this point, the questions will keep this show rolling because we talked about all the meat and potatoes of the stream, and now we got just this. And Honeydew says, keep up the videos, dude. They have been fire lately. Well, thank you. I try my best, you know. Yeah, by the way, DevMentor has Discord. I gave up on my Discord. I'm sorry. I can't be at all the places at once, but I do have a private community that's absolutely free. People could join by filling out the link on my blog where I sometimes post stuff. But you could go to Coding After 30, fill this out, little form here, and then I'll add you to our community, which I think I closed the page there, that I need to be involved more. It's kind of like Discord, but it's just for like people that support the YouTube channel by watching it. Anyway, that's whatever, selfless plug. But DevMentor has a good Discord channel. You could throw a link, Mark, to your Discord, by the way. And if you're wondering, I stream Fridays. If you're just hopping on and notice the tail end, definitely rewatch the stream, and I'll make standalone videos based on what I did. But I stream live coding 9 p.m. Central Time on Fridays, and then anything related to soft skills, getting hired, strategies to help you break into the industry faster. Those streams happen Saturdays starting 11 a.m. US Central Time. So definitely go. You could always watch the reruns on Coding After 30 YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. A lot of fun. But I think, yeah, like just share it in the comments so people, could use it. I think that'll be fine. But with that being said, any last minute questions before we go? My cats are getting rambunctious. They want me to like play with them and feed them. And I did feed them already, but they're constantly hungry. Yeah, and if you have like good topics that you want to talk about, here's this is before we go, man, Honeydew, this very loaded thing. Do you think dev market is hot right now for junior developers? I recently recovered from mental health issues after getting fired. Really to start applying again. What I would say, man, mental health stuff, whatever it was, I had a lot of episodes of depression. It's a serious thing. I'm glad that you're feeling better. Definitely taking one step at a time is important. I think the market right now is interesting because a lot of companies are afraid of what is happening in the world. The economy is not stable. So a lot of people are doing hiring freezes, but it doesn't mean that you can't get hired. What I would say, go through your portfolio, go through, make sure you have the things that you want to present, you get it done where you feel like, okay, this is the best presentation of myself I could do. And then don't do the route where you're sending out resumes to random companies. Start working and connecting with recruiters and starting the conversation there and going the contract route. And then I don't know if you saw how early you jumped on the stream, but I talked about that. Now they're not just random recruiters, but you can now go to whatever company you want to apply, click on their LinkedIn, see all the employees and find someone. They might say like talent acquisition manager or talent something or recruiter something, but actual individual companies now have recruiters. And so reach out to those recruiters and start conversation with them instead of working with randoms. So that's another tip I would say, is that go to specific companies and they have their own recruiting and talent team and do that. I am definitely coding after Cat Lady for sure. I have 2 cats. They're my daughter's cats, but they're awesome. And stay persistent. And if you want any help with anything, hit me up on LinkedIn. It's just literally my first name and last name, Paul Braslavsky on LinkedIn. I could share the link. I'm very a lot of people on YouTube are afraid of being doxxed and your personal information leaked out. For me, I'm not really I am worried about it, but at the same time, I'm a real person and it's Zuck, I'm a human too. No, I want to be out in the open, knowing that there's a chance of people doing stupid ass stuff, but like I'm a professional in the field now. I'm a real person. I give advice how to do certain things for other people to break into the industry. And so I want to be open with my public persona, and some people just don't do that, and I get it. But I'll share my GitHub link. You all can connect with me if you like. But yeah, Honeydew, like you could definitely connect with me on LinkedIn if you have any questions or you want me to review something. Just send me a message. You know, but yeah, this is it. And so I think, you know, this was an excellent stream. I say that all the time, but we did hit our 1 hour and a half, and the questions are slowing down. If you missed it, definitely rewatch it. I'm also going to do during the week, cut out some of the best videos, especially the one how to get out of the tutorial hell was amazing, loaded segment that I did. I'll make that a standalone video. With that being said, everybody stopping by, love you all. Thank you, Mark, for jumping in. Thank you for joining all the beautiful people that jumped on. You know, Mark, like check out his Discord, by the way. He threw the link. Great to have you here. Honeydew, amazing to have you. Jason, great to have you. JB Gra, amazing. Habibo, all these familiar faces. I love it. Jose, man, so much good time. Sharon, always great to have you here. Very, very good. So much love to all of you. Anthony was here. Inga was here. Matt, man, plenty of people. Like so many people. The list goes on. Matt was here. Dude, Salah was here. Damn, Benjamin Wolf was here. Abi was here. Fantastic, man. Thank you all for everything. With that being said, have a great rest of your weekend. Don't give up. It's your persistence that's the secret to accomplishing your goals. It's not some super secret formula. Like the things that I tell you, they're not secret formulas. They're just, these are the things and the steps that I did that helped to save me time if I were to do it again. But the magic ingredient is your persistence and you doing the work. And remember, it's not easy. It's freaking hard, but we're all here together to do this together as a team. So keep at it, keep striving forward. Thank you so much all, and have a great rest of the weekend, and I'll see everybody later. Take care.